What do you know about the school system in the United States? You're probably familiar with certain stereotypes about high school, such as the existence of cliques like the jocks, nerds, stoners, slackers, and cheerleaders. Some of the things you think you know, you might have learned from movies like Mean Girls, Riverdale, or High School Musical. One thing's for sure though, high school is not a musical. But there's much more to the American educational system than high school, and that's the topic for today's video. We'll be revealing 11 facts about U.S. education that may shock or surprise you. Welcome to the Essay Pro channel, where we discuss topics that will help you succeed in high school and university. Before we begin, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell to stay notified about all our latest content. Number 1. Every year, 1.2 million students drop out of school. For those doing the math, that's 7,000 each day, or 1 every 26 seconds. Number 2. 40% of 17-year-olds lack the math skills to keep a job at a manufacturing company. This number increases to 60% if we're discussing students who lack the necessary reading skills. Number 3. Almost 40% of American adults report having a degree. If that number seems low, by comparison, 6.7% of the world has the same level of education. Number 4. Education pays. On average, high school graduates earn 50% more than dropouts. Those with bachelor's degrees earn twice as much as those with just a high school degree. And an advanced degree can earn 50 more than a bachelor's. Number 5. Education costs. The average cost of attendance at a 4-year institution is just over $35,000. However, keep in mind that students attending a private or out-of-state institution will often have to pay over $50,000, if not $60,000, while those attending an in-state institution can pay less than $10,000. Number 6. About 38% of public school teachers majored in an academic subject in university. Number 7. U.S. universities consider many factors when deciding whether or not to admit a student. This includes good grades, including homework, extracurricular activities, social work, standardized test scores, and leadership roles. Don't be surprised if it sometimes seems like high-achieving students are spending an amount of time equivalent to 2 full-time jobs just to get admitted to university. Number 8. U.S. schools are frequently outperformed in math and science by other industrial countries. The result of the 2018 PISA report showed that the United States ranked 19th in science and 36th in mathematics. Number 9. Education is not a federal responsibility. In other words, the national government has very little influence over what happens. Instead, education is primarily the responsibility of state and local governments. That means there is no single or curriculum, but 51 at minimum. What you learn in Texas can be very different from what you learn in New York. Of course, this number is much higher after taking into consideration all the local variants. Number 10. Textbooks are expensive. Fortunately, high schools loan students textbooks, so they don't need to buy them outright unless they lose or damage them. But university students are less lucky. In 2020, students spent an average of $413 on textbooks. However, some easily spent over $1,000. Number 11. The 1954 Supreme Court case, Brown v. Board of Education, established that racial segregation in public schools was unconstitutional. Before 1954, it was okay for students to be separated into whites-only schools and blacks-only schools. Brown v. Board not only had a tremendous impact on U.S. education, but it also led to major conflict and divisions. For example, in 1957, a showdown occurred between the Arkansas Army National Guard and the U.S. 101st Airborne Division as the former attempted to block the Little Rock Nine, a group of 9 African American students, from entering their newly desegregated high school. That's it for now. Your question of the day: which of the 11 facts did you find the most surprising? Let us know in the comments below, and see you next time.